Good afternoon, all. I am
Good
audible.
afternoon.
आवाज येतो का?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Yes, sir.
afternoon.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Good afternoon.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. How are you? All.
Fine, sir.
Good, sir.
सगळेजण
Fine,
कसे
Fine,
आहेत?
sir.
फाईन.
मजेत. Fine, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
तब्येती वगैरे कशा सगळ्यांच्या छान आहेत?
हो, sir.
Quarantine.
Yes, sir.
ओके ओके.
सर्दी.
आपण सुरू करायचं लेक्चर की थांबायचं अजून 1-2-4 मिनिटं? बाकीचे लोक अजून ऍडमिट होत आहेत. अराउंड 60चा काउंट दिसतोय मला. माझी एक रिक्वेस्ट आहे, जो कोणी असेल ह्या ग्रुपमध्ये असतील ना, एक कोणीतरी लीड घेऊन आहे ना, एक व्हॉट्सअपचा ऑटोमोबाईलच्या दोन्ही क्लासच्या मुलांचा आपल्याला एक ग्रुप करायचा आहे. कोण करेल? अथर्व? हॅलो.
हा सर.
आपल्याला एक व्हॉट्सअपचा ग्रुप करायचा आहे ऑटोमोबाईल इंजिनिअरिंगचा.
ओके सर.
त्यात दोन्ही डिव्हिजनचे जे मुलं असतील ना, ज्यांनी ऑटोमोबाईल दिलेला आहे इलेक्टिव्ह, ते त्या ग्रुपमध्ये ऍड असतील. आणि तू आणि मला ऍडमिन एक कर.
हो सर.
चालेल?
हो सर.
ओके ओके. सुरू करायचं आपण. येस.
हो, sir.
Yes, sir.
चालेल, sir.
ओके ओके
Oh, sir.
ओके. Thank you. So, in the last lecture, we discussed about what exactly the content and the introductory part about the unit number 1. Okay, and we directly discuss on the first part, that is what is the introduction. So anyone from those who are actually present online can explain or summarize the whatever the discussion which is there in the last lecture. Please, anyone. So I will show you the slides also, so that it will be useful for the discussion. Please, anyone. आवाज येतोय का? आय एम ऑडिबल?
Yes, sir.
ओके. शुभम भावसार. शुभम भावसार.
Sir, Shivam.
Sorry, Shivam.
Yes, sir.
Shivam, can you summarize the last lecture, whatever the discussion is there regarding the unit number 1, that is the first point related to the automobile industry current scenario?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So
please.
First we did the different classifications first. Then we had the chassis form, and then the automobile have different types of drives. Then we have the classifications in detail, like for four-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive vehicles, then trucks, buses, and then ambulance, and the different types of vehicles.
Okay. Again, any addition from anyone? Again, Shreyesh Ektate.
Yes,
Please.
Sir, we also discussed about the policy of automobile which are coming, and again same the classification of automobiles.
Yes.
Like IC engine or which can be run on gas engine.
Okay. Any addition more from anyone regarding the last lecture? Shruti is there? Arnav? Arnav Jagtap. Okay, we'll start. Okay, so in the last lecture, as we know, we just brief out about the whatever the kinds of the entire syllabus is there, and apart from that, we start from the unit number 1. So before that, we discuss more about the Pimpri-Chinchwad Education Trust vision and mission statement. Apart from that, Pimpri-Chinchwad College of Engineering and Research vision and mission statement, and after that, we start our own departmental vision mission statements, then program educational objectives, then program specific outcomes, then also we discuss about the program outcomes, 12 program outcomes, and then we start about the unit number 1 related to the automobile as a elective 2. So in that we discuss the current scenario of automobile and related industries in the Indian context. Okay, so in that just we discuss about the advantage India. Under this category, the 4 important factors we discuss: growing demand, opportunity, rising investment, and the policy support. Then after that, in each of these, how it will be useful, considering the market size, considering the investment, then considering the government initiatives, then what are the different types of the government initiatives taken by the central government as well as the state government. Then what actually the road ahead means, what are the probable kinds of the challenges, what we have to convert into the opportunities. So these are what the references from which we have already taken this particular point, that is the current scenario of automobile and related industries in the Indian context. Then apart from that, also we discuss in the introduction what is automobile engineering, what it means, what are the important applications, okay, then role of mechanical engineer, then example of the automobiles. Then also we just observe the some of the whatever the history and in the old days, what are the different types of the automobiles that are used for the different purpose or the different application. Okay, so history also we see. Then also apart from that, also the important point which we discuss, that is what is called as a classification of the automobile. So in that, the 10 different factors which we consider for the classification. Okay, so first one is the application, second one is the load capacity, third one is the number of wheels and the axles, then the fuel use, and next one is the fifth number is the transmissions. Okay, then apart from that, the sixth one is the drives of the vehicles, then seventh one is the sports and luxury and special purpose automobiles. Then next number, suspension system, type of body system, and with respect to the make. Okay, so this is what is the part which we already discussed in the last lecture. Okay, so today we'll start what is the, if we just considering this particular the SPPU syllabus related to the unit number 1. So in that, the current scenario is there, then vehicle specification and the classification is there. So I think the vehicle classification part, that is what we already discussed. Okay, now we are going to start today's discussion on the vehicle specification. Okay, and later on we will try to discuss about the chassis and the frames. Okay, so when we are considering the vehicle specification, okay, so one must know what actually in the specifications are there. Okay, so before that, one must know what actually the typical kind of the layout of the vehicle is there. Okay, so if you just observing this particular the slide, so in that it will give the idea about the vehicle layout entire. So if we start from this particular this end, okay, so these are the 1 and 2 wheels are there. Then this portion is actually for the engine. Then this much. This portion shows the clutch, then gearbox, then steering, then universal joint along with the propeller shaft. Okay, Then here on this side, the driving mechanism which is there, which is called as a differential, we can call it as a. So in that the axle is there, then axle shafts are there, this one and this one, and these are the wheel along with the tire, and this particular portion is a suspension system. This is the normal vehicle layout which we are considering for this particular the kind of the layout automobile. So case to case it may vary, okay, but one must know these are the some are the common kinds of the vehicle layout. So when we are considering the vehicle layout, so again this is one of the photographs, actual photograph of the vehicle layout. So in that we know the main components are there, wheels are there, front and rear axle is there, power unit is there, propeller shaft is there, frame is there, transmission system is there, universal joint is there, and the brake is there. Okay, so these are the main component. So wheels, as we know, nowadays we are using we are observing the alloy wheels than the traditional, then propeller shaft, then front and the rear axles, then power unit in the actual engine, then transmission system and the frames. Now, this is what the normal we observe. Now, next point which we are considering, that is the vehicle specification. Okay. So, in the vehicle specification, I am audible to everyone.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
And slide also is good to see.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So, shall we continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Now the next and the important part after that the vehicle layout, that is what we are considering here, the vehicle specification. So when we are considering the vehicle specification, so in that there are the different kinds of the parameters, we can say that. If we consider the technical specification, so again we have to consider what kind of the model and the manufacturing company is there. Now in this particular slide, we are considering the model is Honda Amaze and Honda Brio. So parameters in the technical specification we are considering first is the dimension. Okay. So in the dimension, what are there? Overall length, overall width, overall height, then wheelbase, then ground clearance, then the width, then steering turning radius, then boot space and the tire size. So these are all the parts which are in the dimensions. Okay. So that is one of the parameter under the vehicle specification, that is the technical specification. Okay. Then second important parameter we are considering the engine and the transmission. So this is the whatever the values which are written here. So that is related to the Honda Amaze. Okay. And these are related to the another model of the Honda, that is the Bravo. Okay. So in that if you observe the overall length, so definitely the model wise the variations are there. Overall width slightly same is here. If you consider the overall weight, so again there are the changes are there. Overall height. Then wheelbase again that is there. Then ground clearance and the rest of the parts. Okay. So some kind of the different values are there with respect to this dimension part. Similarly, when we are considering in the specification, that is the engine and the transmission. So in that, what type of the engine is there? This is for the petrol. So Honda Amaze having the petrol engine and Honda Amaze for the diesel engine. Okay. Similarly, for the Honda Bravo, petrol engine and the diesel engine details are there. Okay. So in that, so 4-cylinder, okay, along with if we just observe similar kind of the engine which is there. Okay. The next important parameter which we are considering, the displacement. Next is the peak power. Next is the peak torque. Then gearbox. Then fuel efficiency. Okay. So these are the common parameters related to the engine and transmission for the petrol variant for both these model of the Honda. Okay. So similarly, if we consider the diesel variant, so in that again the displacement is there. Okay, displacement is there, peak power is there, peak torque is there, gearbox, and the fuel efficiency. These are the 5 important parameters are common in the diesel as in the petrol variant. When we are considering the manufacturing company is the Honda for the model Amaze and Honda Bravo. Okay, so similarly, if we are considered suppose the different kinds of the manufacturing company, so according to that, the different kinds of the specifications are there. So model to model specification variation is definitely there. Okay, so if you just observe this particular the kind of the vehicle, again the engine is there, maximum power, maximum torque, then the gearbox, ground clearance, then all suspension, then tire, then turning radius, then length, width, and the height, then wheelbase, then brakes and the clutch. These are the different kinds of the model of this particular the vehicle. Okay, so if we consider one manufacturing company, say Maruti or like other any kind of the Honda or other any kind of the say Volkswagen or other that. So in that, whatever the different variants are there, so in that different variants, one must know what actually the kind of the specification which is to be required. Okay, so that is what we are considering the particular the part related to the specification of the vehicles. Okay, so in this slide also, if it is not clearly visible, then I will share you this all the PPT. But if it is not visible, then try to understand what are the actually the parameters are there and what kind of the specification related to this particular the kind of the company. Okay, so this part is clear to everyone. What exactly is there in the specification and what we are going to consider. So any doubt to anyone regarding the specification? So please let me know. Any doubt? Hello?
No, sir.
Any doubt to anybody? Aniruddha, any doubt or any query regarding the specification or the classification?
No, sir.
Whatever the portion
No, sir,
which
no.
we discussed
No, sir.
up till now?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No.
No, sir.
Okay. So shall we discuss the next part?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, after the specification, if again we are going back, suppose for the syllabus, so in that the next part which is related to the chassis and the frames, this one. So first part related to the introduction, that is over. So in that we discuss about the current scenario of the auto and auto ancillary industries in the Indian context. Then we discuss about the vehicle classifications and the vehicle specifications also. Now we'll try to discuss more about this chassis and the frames. Okay, so okay, so chassis and the frames. So this is what the kind of the means. Definitely, these are the two terms that these two terms may confuse. Okay, to everyone. So one must know what exactly mean by the chassis and what exactly mean by the frame. Okay, so we'll start from the chassis. So if you observe this particular the slide, so it is clearly mentioned on the bottom side. Chassis, when engine, transmission system, steering and wheels are fitted on the frame, the assembly known as a chassis. Okay, so when engine, transmission system, steering and the wheels which are fitted on the frame, okay, the entire assembly, the word is used assembly, known as the chassis. It is actually the backbone of the vehicle, and similarly it is a vehicle without a body. It contains all the major units necessary to propel the vehicle, means to move from one location to the another location. So similarly, vehicle can be driven after placing the driver's seat on the chassis. So we'll start from the chassis. So this is what is the idea about the chassis. Again, we are considering chassis is formed by the frame with a frame side members and the cross members. This is already there. Frames is usually made of the box, tabular or the channel members that are welded or riveted together. Okay. So this is what is the major, we can say that the difference which is there between the chassis and the frame. Again, when we start with the chassis, so chassis is the skeletal frame on which the various mechanical parts like engine, tires, axle assemblies, brakes, steerings are bolted or welded. Okay. So chassis is considered to be the most significant component of the automobile. It is most crucial elements that gives us the strength as well as the stability to the vehicle under the different conditions. If we just moving on the different road conditions, so we get the idea what the parameters which we are expecting from the chassis. Okay. So automobile frames, this is related to the frame, so we will try to discuss more in the latter part. So this is what we can say that the chassis layout. This is one of the example which is in that if we consider this particular the front end and this is the back end. Okay. So radiator and engine is there. These are the wheels are there. Okay. So if you just observe this particular diagram. So in that the engine is there, clutch is there, gearbox along with the propeller shaft, differential is there, wheel and the wheel on both the sides, 4 wheels are there. Okay. So this is what the one of the type of the layout of the chassis. Okay. Now this is again the one of the example of the truck chassis. So in that we again just observe how that the different types of the parts which are assembled on this the entire chassis. Okay. So this is the one of the example. Now see whatever the kind of the automobile we are considering. So according to that the chassis is different. Okay. So if you are considering the truck, so just consider this particular the example. So in that we are observing here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wheels are there. 2, 2 and 2. So 6 wheels are there. Okay. So again, if we increase suppose the number of the wheels say 8, 10, 12, 14. So the chassis will be again different in the size. Because see, for what actually the purpose or what actually the application, so according to that, the vehicle we have to select. And once the vehicle is selected according to the application, so one must know it is having a different kind of the design of the chassis. Okay. So this is actually just to know what will be the structure of the chassis. So just I'm showing this particular the slide. Okay. Now, when we are considering the chassis, so we know what actually the chassis means. And after that, when we are considering the type of the chassis or the construction of the chassis, so it is basically in the 2 format. One is the conventional and second one is the frameless or the unitary construction. Okay. So these are actually the 2 types of the construction of the chassis which is there. Now the next important part which is there, that is the classification of the chassis. Okay. So as we discussed what exactly is the kind of the vehicle which is there. So according to that, we are considering a suitable type of the automobile for the application, and their design of the chassis, their classification of the chassis is the different one. So here it is mentioned according to its control. Okay. So here if we just observe, the conventional chassis are there, semi-forward chassis are there, and full forward or the bus chassis are there. Okay. So in the conventional chassis, just normally we are observing the car, Tata truck, or the many different types of the trucks. In the semi-forward chassis, whatever the chassis which we are observed for the pickup kind of the vans, normally that are used for the to transport the load, okay, from one location to the another location. So Mahindra's well-known brand is there for the pickup. That is what is the Bolero pickup van. In the different company, there are also the different types of the variant as well as the brands are there. And in the full forward or the brush chassis, we know the different case. So here, if you just observe this particular the photographs of the different types of the chassis. Okay, so this one is different, this one is different, and this one is different. Okay, so another is again according to the fitting of the engine. Okay, so if we observe engine fitting in the automobiles in the three different locations. Okay, so far as the automobile is considered, one engine it is at the front end. Okay, so just we observe engine at the front end. Normally we are observed. Then second, it is fitted at the center. Okay, so for particular kind of the specific kind of the buses or the specific kind of the brand. So engine fitted at the center, then engine fitted at the back. Okay, so normally we know we can call it as a front engine and we can call it as a rear engine. Okay, so these are the two photographs are there, so that will give us the idea. When the engine at the front, so we know we can call it as a front engine, and when the on the engine which is on the back side or at the back end, so we can call it as a rear engine. Correct. So this is the again one of the type of the classification of the chassis. So now see, when engine at the front side, so according to that, the chassis which we are designing, that is a different one. So again, when we are considering the engine which is located at the back end, so again in that case, the requirement of the chassis, so that is the different one. So one must know actually what kind of the requirement of the where exactly the engine which is we are going to mount, and according to that, the what exactly the type of the chassis we are going to select. Okay, so apart from that also, whatever this particular the kind of the automobiles are there, so number of wheels and the driving are there. So 4x2, 4x4, 6x2, 6x4, and what kind of the means how many number of wheels are there. So according to that, the chassis requirement is different. Then wheelbase also, long wheelbase is there. So if you just normally observe the normal kind of the truck or the bus, and if you just observe the long kind of the lorry or the container, which normally, so that particular is coming under this long wheelbase. Okay, so this is what actually the part which is related to the chassis. Okay, so again, when we are considering this particular the chassis, that is we must know. So it is already we discussed the backbone of any automobile. It is a supporting frame to which the body of the engine and axle assemblies are affixed. So this is related to the what we can say that related to the supporting frames which are there in the chassis. Okay. So I think whatever the we discuss about the chassis, so that is sufficient one for the understanding of what is the role of the chassis, what are the important parameter we have to consider when we are going to select or designing the chassis, and after that how the construction of the chassis is there, and how the classification of the chassis is there. Okay. So if anybody is having the doubt regarding the chassis of the automobile, so please ask. Otherwise, we will try to discuss the important part. That is the next one is the frame. Okay. So, किसी को कुछ doubt है? So please ask. Any doubt, or shall we continue to the next point? Any doubt to anybody? Yes.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, sir.
कोणाला काही
No,
शंका
sir.
आहे कोणाला काही जे चाललंय आपलं राजेश्री?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
ओके ओके Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. Then we will continue with the frames. Okay. So as we discussed in the first slide, so when we are going to compare the chassis and the frames, or actually the confusion which is there. So we'll start from the frame. So in that, basically, the frame, it is a supporting component of the automobile vehicle. Okay. It is a supporting component. Okay. It is clearly mentioned. It is the foundation for carrying the engine, transmission system, and steering system by means of springs, axle, rubber pad, etc. Okay. So it is actually the foundation. Okay. For on which we can keep the engine, transmission system, and the steering system by using or by means of springs, means we can call it as a suspension, then axles and the rubber pads. The frames are made of box, tabular channels, U-shaped sections, welded or the riveted together. This is the just a small idea about what exactly the frame means, which is again mentioned here also. Frame or the underbody is the main part of the chassis on which the other parts are mounted. Just it is mentioned. It is made of steel sections. Okay. So long members and the cross members are there. So already some of the students who are actually in the final year, so they are working on the different kinds of the projects. Okay. So the projects like Baha, go-karting, then Tiffin, and other kinds of the your minor project as well as the major project on the final year. So they are familiar with this particular what is mean by chassis and what is mean by frames. Okay. So frame, just we discuss depending upon the size, what kind of the frame structure which is to be required. So what exactly the function of the frames? That is what we must know. Okay. To support the chassis component, this is the first and foremost important function of the frame. Withstand a static and dynamic load with undue deflection or the distortion. These are the two main functions for which the frames which we are considering. Okay, to support the chassis and to withstand the static as well as the dynamic load due to the with the undue deflection and the distortion. Now, apart from that, when we are considering the frames, so whatever the different kinds of the loads which are acting on the frame, so that we must know. Okay, so load acting on the frame, first one is the weight of the vehicle. Okay, so its occupant is the vertical bending which is to be there, then vertical load while consuming across the bump or the hollow, so longitudinal torsion which is to be there, then load due to the side, so camber, side thrust, or the wind converting force, so that is on the lateral bending which is to be there, then engine torque and the braking. Okay, so bending on the side member which is to be there. And last one, and the fifth one is the sudden impact load. That is what is the collapse. Okay, so these are the what the different kinds of the load which are acting on the frame. So while designing the frame, so one must know what exactly the parameters which we are going to consider while designing the frame as well as designing the chassis. So just earlier mentioned, so what are the different types of the frames are there? Okay, so in normally most of the cases steel sections are used. Okay, so as it is shown in this particular the slide, so C channels are there, so box types are there, box sections are there, and the tabular sections are there. So these are the different types of the sections which are prepared from the material is the steel. Okay, so these are what we can call it as a type of the frames. Again, the type of the frames that the material and the different shapes are there. So when we are considering its category, so conventional frames are there, semi-integral frames are there, and the integral frames are there. Okay, so we will try to discuss more about this one by one. What exactly the conventional frames means, what exactly the semi-integral frames are there, and what exactly the integral frames are there. So Baha, those students who are actually working in the designing part of the vehicle, like Tiffin, as well as the go-kart, as well as the Baha, SAE Baha. So they are familiar with about this particular, the structure of the frames. So conventional, semi-integral, and the integral. Okay. So normally, when we are considering the conventional frame, so its construction like this, whatever we are observing on this particular slide, on the right hand side. In this type of the chassis, body is made as a separate unit and then joined with the ladder frame. It supports all the systems in a vehicle, such as engine, then transmission system, steering system, and suspension system. Okay. So it is actually prepared, or it is made as a separate unit, okay, initially, and then we are going to join it on the ladder frame. That is what the kind of the structure which we are observing here. Okay. So advantage of this particular, the conventional frame construction, high load capacity and sufficient, or we can say that the required strength which is to be there. Drawback, similarly, the body tends to vibrate easily, and the overall vehicle handling and requirement is lower. It is used in the truck, buses, and the SUV cars and the bigger vehicle. So this is the normal one type of the frame which we are considering. Normally, in most of the cases, we observe for manufacturing or the preparation or designing of the truck. Okay. Then semi-integral frame is there. Okay. So in the semi-integral frame, in this type of the frame, load is transferred to the body structure also. This frame is however easy, okay, sorry, heavy, and in semi-integral frame, half frame is fixed to the front end, on which the engine gearbox and the front suspension is mounted. This type of the frame is used in the Fiat cars and some of the European and the American cars. If we just observe this particular, the second slide, so in that it is shown how the structure of the semi-integral frame which is there. Okay. So in some vehicle, half frame is fixed in the front end, just it is mentioned right now. It has an advantage when the vehicle is met with the accident. The front frame can be taken easily to replace the damaged chassis frame. This type of the frame, just we discussed, used in the European and the American car. Now the next one, again, this is the one of the photograph again of the same semi-integral frame. Okay, this kind of the structure which is there. And the last one, the frame, which is we can call it as an integral frame or the frameless. It is normally used nowadays in most of the whatever the car which you are observing. No frame and all the assembly units are attached to the body. Due to elimination of the long frame, it's cheaper. Okay, so when we are considering the first two, so comparatively the third one is cheaper. Okay, but the major drawback, we can say that it's a repairing is difficult. Okay, so that is what is the entire we can say that the frame which is to be there, integral frame. Okay, this one. So this particular frame nowadays we are observing in most of the whatever the recent cars manufacturing companies are there. So they are using this particular the integral kind of the frame. Okay, so last point of the today's discussion, which is there related to the what kind of the probable materials which is used in preparing or manufacturing the chassis as well as the other body component of say frames and chassis are there. So one must know what is the probable material and why we are going to use this particular the material. Okay, so as we know, an automotive body depends on the manufacturing considerations with legislation and the regulation, and some on the requirements of the customer. Now see, whenever any manufacturing firm is there or any manufacturing industry is there, so that firm must follow the rules, regulations which are given by the central government as well as the state government related to the safety and related to the ergonomics also. Taking into consideration those rules and the regulations, so one must know about what actually the requirements from the customer side. Okay, so if we observe the trend nowadays, we are observing in almost all the variant, say two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, and more than that also. So most of the preferred kind of the material selection is one of the important parameter. So it is mentioned here. Most of the manufacturer prefer featured material which are lightweight, economic, safety, and recyclability. These are the four important points are there. So on which the manufacturing industry, particularly the research and the development R&D sale or R&D section is working on these four important aspects: lightweight, how it is economical, how the safety parameters, all the safety related parameters are included, and the recyclability. So here I'm not taking much more time, just I will show you on the basis of these four important parameters. So one must know whatever the probable materials which we are using for making the chassis and frames and the other body components of automobile. So steel is one of them, second one is aluminum, and third one is magnesium. So why we are considering these three material in most of the cases, as we know, because steel, as we know, steel stand the first choice for the manufacturer with all the required characteristics. The main element of selection of this particular the material, which is what the wide variety of the characteristics such as thermal, chemical, and mechanical resistance, then manufacturing efficiency and the durability which is there. So this is the best reason for using the steel as a body structure, as it's a natural capability to absorb and impact energy produced in a crash. This is the one of the type of the material why this is being considered. That is the first material we are considering the steel, correct? This is not mentioned in the syllabus, but being as a mechanical engineer or automobile engineer, so one must know what exactly the material which is we are using in the automobile, correct? So that's why just I have add this particular the point. Second one, as we know, aluminum and aluminum alloy. So use and what the kind of the characteristics the aluminum and its alloy having. So we know it is what the light in wet, then again the high specific energy absorption, precise strength. These are the most significant characteristics. Apart from that, it is also mentioned it is resistance to corrosion, and also the many more advantages we are getting from this aluminum and its alloy. So that's why significantly the automobile industries are using this particular the material. Okay, and lot of research is going on the how we can maximum utilization of aluminum and its alloy for the different types of the automobiles. Okay, so if we just observe pistons, then cylinder heads, then intake manifolds, then transmission. Also, this is related to the engine part. Then in the chassis assembly, as it is used as a wheel for brackets, brakes component, suspension, steering component, and the instrument panels. So aluminum is widely used in this particular the area in the automobile. Okay. Then last one is the magnesium. Again, the important type of the material, as we know, magnesium is again another type of the lightweight metal which is available. Okay. Then we also know that the magnesium has also having the lower tensile strength, then fatigue strength, and the keep strength compared to the aluminum. But apart from that also, it is having important type of the properties. Okay. So that's why magnesium is a material which is not used as a specific single material. So it gets clubbed as an alloy, or we can use the magnesium alloy. Okay. So this is what actually the points which we try to discuss here in the today's lecture. So this is from my side. If any doubt or any question is there, so you can ask me regarding the whatever the discussion which is there for the today's lecture. Okay, and if any query is there, so already I just discussed in the last lectures also, in the presentation also. So please ask me on WhatsApp group, or my personal mobile number is also with you. Then any doubt or any query is there, so you feel free to contact regarding your subject and any other doubt you have. Okay, so किसी को कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, क्वेश्चन है, तो we'll start discussion, or otherwise from my side it is over. किसी को कुछ डाउट, क्वेरी, कुछ क्वेश्चन है तो आप लोग पूछ सकते हैं. आप सभी लोग प्रेजेंट है यहाँ पे?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Present, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Everyone is there. I am observing total 70 students are there. Okay. So please, Rajeshri along with Atharva, I request you to please form one WhatsApp group, and then we will try to discuss the important about this particular the subject. Okay. So thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you one and all from my side. Okay.